Hey folks, Caleb here. Got a Daniel Defense mag for a Daniel Defense rifle. Next on the Gun Buff channel. So here is a closer look at the Daniel Defense 32 round magazine. So here's what the packaging looks like. Possibly the most important thing, of course, is the Made in the USA and the satisfaction guaranteed. So there's nothing really to it other than this is just a cardboard display box. But here's the mag. So we'll go through some of the features and why I think it's a pretty solid alternative to the USGI aluminum mags. So the first thing you're going to notice, of course, is that it's got this really nice texturing in two panels. It does have some ridges on the front and on the back. So it says DD magazine, and on the other side it says 32 rounder. So it's got a yellow follower. The company's colors are black and yellow. It is pretty solid. You can see that I cannot really get that to flex. I can get it a little bit, but not too much. The one thing I noticed with these mags, and it may or may not be an issue, is there seems to be an awful lot of play in the follower. Now that's important because when you look at, say, a standard P mag, right, there is no play. When you push down on the follower, it goes straight down. So on this one, you get a little bit of play. So that's the first thing that seems a little weird to me, but it may or may not be an issue. The coolest, possibly the best design feature of this magazine is this beefy base pad. So first of all, it looks like you can put a a piece of paracord. Maybe they'll make some attachments for it, something rubber that helps you get it out of a mag carrier. But this is super beefy. This is super stiff. It's a different type of plastic, it feels like, than this. It's very rigid. And I think that's important because when you do your research on the PMags, what you find is if they take any type of damage along this seam or along this catch point right here, then the guts of the magazine just come out. They just fly out along with your ammo. So if you do any type of drop test, or if you're going to use it to, bipod or monopod your rifle, it just doesn't work. And what you end up doing is going to have to go get a new mag. So this looks like it's very armored, and it looks like it's going to do very well. I mean, it's very beefy, and it just looks like it's going to take some abuse. So when you're doing mag changes and you're dropping it potentially on something like concrete or asphalt, it looks like it'll take that abuse pretty well. I mean, it is, as you can tell, pretty beefy compared to the Magpul bottom. So, and of course, the other major advantage to these guys is that if you're one of the guys and gals who doesn't like to load their mag to 30 rounds, you now can, right, and give yourself that extra space because this is a 32 round mag. So you don't have to do 28 or 27 rounds in a 30 round mag. So also I wanted to give you a little comparison here between the three, just so you can see what we're talking about here. So obviously Magpul, Daniel Defense, and a USGI. So size-wise, obviously all the geometry and everything is nothing new. It has to fit in AR-15 rifles. So, really though, when you look at it, it doesn't have that much extra length to it, even though it holds 2 extra rounds. So there's those two compared. And then if you look at a PMag, same thing. Geometry is really not any different. It can't be. It has to fit in the rifle itself. One of the biggest differences is it seems to be skinnier, as you can tell right there, along the bottom, because the Magpul has that grip. Some people like it, some people don't. But this is much skinnier at the bottom. Obviously it's not as skinny as the USGI mag, but that is how the three most common mags stack up together. Stand by, we're going to do a lot more shooting with this guy. I'm going to let you know if that extra play in the follower becomes a problem, and it will, time will tell. If these work out really well, then then I probably have to get a few of these. Daniel Defense is a solid company. They are excellent customer service. I've sold a lot of these rifles. I've not had any problems, so I don't really expect any problem out of these magazines. But, you know, they are a tad bit more expensive, obviously, than USGI or even the PMag. So for me to switch to this, they're going to have to really outperform the PMag and the USGI magazine. But if they do outperform it, particularly because of how beefy this bottom is, then, you know, I think it's a no-brainer. So I thought I'd wrap this up today by telling you, as I always do, my pros and cons, but also I wanted to show you what it looks like inside the rifle itself. So as you can see, it's actually not too long, right? You barely notice the extra length. It's not like it is a, you know, 40 rounder in there, which is almost too long. So frankly, these are good quality magazines. We're going to do a lot more testing on the range to confirm that, but you can tell by the build quality that they're going to be just fine. But we'll confirm that with actual live fire. Probably the biggest pros that I can tell about this is the armored bottom. The fact that it's another quality American-made magazine. It's just another option on the market that you can go out and find. You don't have to just settle for a Lancer or a PMag or a USGI. You can, you know, you can go get this if you want. And of course, the extra capacity, right, never hurt. I've never really been the kind of guy who always downloaded my magazines to 28 instead of 30. I've really never had a malfunction. But if you are that kind of person, here's your solution. Now you can put 30 rounds in a 32 round magazine and still downgrade and you know, download your magazine and be fine. So the cons, well, the only two that I can really think of is this play right here, which may be a non-issue. I don't know. We'll have to see when we go out to the range. But that is one thing that could be a problem. But, you know, as long as it feeds, and everything should be fine. The other disadvantage, and the only other thing I can think of is street price on these are $15 to $20 depending on where you buy them. And that's more expensive than its, you know, obviously its biggest competitor, PMag. If you get a chance, I'd check out the Daniel Defense 32 round magazine. And as always, I appreciate your support. Get out there and like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And also, as always, be safe and be good.